Today I'm reviewing the HVO Fitness Preacher Curl Machine. It's a 3-in-1 preacher curl station where I can use an easy curl bar, I can use dumbbells for single arm preacher curls, and my favorite, I can use the lever arm here to do lever arm preacher curls so I can focus more on strength rather than instability and balance. And as a bonus, I can straighten the handlebar out, lock it in place, create a longer lever, and I can do deadlifts in front of the machine, so it adds a little bit more value to the machine. Now in this video, I'm going to give you all the details, show you what I like and don't like about the machine. Now, as far as the padding goes, it's wide enough where I have plenty of space. This thing is 23.5 inches wide, so anywhere I put my elbows, it's going to feel comfortable. I don't feel like my elbows are falling off the edge of the pad here. The padding itself is 1.5 inches in thickness. Up in this area, it's actually thicker at 2.5 inches. And the reason this is thicker over here is because whenever I'm pulling the weight, my body is being pushed down into the pad here, so it has to be comfortable on my chest. I'll show you what I mean. So when I come up here, the weight is trying to pull my body down. So the padding here, the 2.5 inches is on my chest, and then the 1.5 inch padding is where my elbows are sitting. So both sides, both here and here, are comfortable, so they did a good job here. Now, as far as the vinyl here, this is not a premium vinyl, but it is good enough for home gym equipment. So I would say it's an okay vinyl. And then the angle here, 45 degrees, makes it perfect for a preacher curl. And then as far as the height, you can adjust the height up to 5 different positions with a pop pin down here at the bottom. So padding, I would say they did a really good job. The lever arm is actually my favorite part about this whole machine. I would buy this bench just for the lever arm because it feels that good. Now there's advantages to the lever arm. One of those advantages is that I don't have to worry about instability because it's working on a fixed linear path that's just going straight up and down. Now with stability, I can generate more power, so I can really load this thing up and just focus on going straight up and down without one side tilting to the other side and vice versa. So that's the big advantage of the fixed linear path here that I get with that lever arm. So I just have to worry about going up and coming down. Nothing about going from one side to the other, my strong arm taking over the weak side. So that's a big advantage to this. Now the disadvantage is that you're never going to get 100% of the weight that you load because you're using a lever arm, but that's okay. You can just continue to load as much as you can. For arms, I think you're going to have enough here. The weight horns are about 7.5 inches wide, so you have plenty of space there to load up a lot of stuff for arms. Now another function that's a bonus is that I can fold this out, fold the handlebar out, lock it at the bottom, and now I create a longer lever arm for deadlifts. So what I did here is I folded down the handlebar, pinned it down at the bottom here of the lever arm to create a longer lever arm where now the handles are sticking out in front of the machine. And from here, I can use this for RDLs. Now this is not going to replace a barbell RDL, of course, but this just gives it a little bit more function. Doesn't take anything away from the actual preacher curl function, just adds a little bit more function to the machine, which is good in a home gym, especially if you're working in a small, compact space. This is not going to replace a barbell, but at the same time, it allows me to get RDLs done so I can work a little bit of my lower body. And of course, I'm not going to be able to load this up as much as a barbell. I'm only working with 7.5 inches here on each weight horn compared to a barbell sleeve that's 16 to 17 inches. It's a huge difference. And I'm not going to be able to get a straight up and down linear path, but it's another exercise that I can add to this machine, and it doesn't take away anything from the preacher curl bench itself. So I see it as a plus. I like what HVO Fitness did over here by adding rubber pads in any area where there's metal on metal contact, which is smart. It's just going to maintain the aesthetics of the machine. It's not going to affect the function, but it'll make the machine look nicer so there's no scratches on it. So right here, there's a rubber pad on top of the lever arm here. Whenever I let go of the handlebar, it's going to hit that rubber pad instead of going metal on metal. And then on the bottom of the lever arm, there's another piece of rubber right here. So whenever that lever arm is coming down and it hits the frame, there's no metal on metal contact. So small details that show that they're paying attention to what they're doing. So very good job on that part by HVO Fitness. Now, I do like what they did with the handle where it's angled so it's ergonomic. It's going to reduce a lot of stress on the wrists instead of having a straight barbell where that just kills my wrists. This is going to make it manageable where I can put a lot of weight here and not have to worry about my wrist hurting. So that's a big plus. I do like the rubber grip here, even though I would like to see the handle here be more of a rotating handle if that's even possible. I think that would make it even better. especially when I get to the top here. When I go real heavy, sometimes what I've noticed is that I start flexing my wrist just to try to compensate for the amount of weight that I'm lifting. So having a rotating handle, I think, would eliminate me flexing that my wrist, and then all the focus would fall into the biceps instead of me trying to flex my wrist and some of it going into the forearms. But as far as the handle goes, I think it's good. It's good enough. It does what it's supposed to do. Rotating, though, I think would be the next step. The sleeves are 7.5 inches long. I like that they're using chrome here instead of paint because this is going to reduce the amount of scratches that are visible. Now, this here being only 7.5 inches long, it'll be fine for bicep curls. I can load it up heavy. But for RDLs, of course, it's not going to be the same as having a barbell where I have a 16 to 17 inch sleeve. This is only 7.5 inches, but I can still get a good stretch on the hamstrings there. Now, this is removable. I can come over to the side here, unscrew it, remove it, and then I expose a 1-inch diameter rod here for standard weight plates. So this is compatible with both Olympic-sized weight plates and standard weight plates with a 1-inch center hole. Now, if I go below that, you can see there's some band pegs right here. Now, the band pegs, I can connect resistance bands from here to the weight horn for accommodating resistance where the exercise gets harder at the top of the exercise. I don't currently have any resistance bands, so I can't show you, but all you're doing is connecting bands from here to right here. You can throw in weight plates if you want, use a combination of both, but that is for accommodating resistance. And of course, I can always use this as a regular preacher curl station where I can set the bar here on the uprights. These uprights are chrome, which makes them look really nice. They have 8 different settings, height settings, and of course, you use the pop pin to bring them up. And I like that they use plastic over here on top. That's going to protect my barbell. 300-pound weight capacity on those uprights, so they can hold a lot of weight. Now I'm taking you to the back so you can see the seat. The seat is 1.5 inches in thickness. The padding is comfortable. You can see it's tapered at the front, so there's room for my legs. Right here, there's a cell phone holder, which is convenient. And then right below it is where I adjust it. So you can see there's a knob there. That's a tension knob. I twist it, and then it lets me move it back and forth. And then there's a pop pin right here that lets me move it up vertically in 6 different height settings. So I gave you all the details, and I just want to summarize, give you a recap of what I like and where I think there's room for improvement. So first things off, this thing is very compact. It's only going to take 35 inches in depth and then 33 inches in width. So it's very small. It's not going to take up a lot of room, which is great in a home gym. I like that it's very adjustable. I can adjust the height of the uprights. I can adjust the height of the preacher curl pad and also the seat pad. So there's room to play there for people of all sizes, which is good. I like also that it's designed in a triangle shape, which makes it very stable. Even with a lot of weight on here, you're not going to wobble at all, which is really good. And I like that I have the option to use it as more than just a regular preacher curl station because of the lever arm here, which lets me just put weight on and just focus on strength without having to worry about instability. Now, if there was something that I would improve on, it would be making these handles, rotating handles, if that's possible, just because I feel it'll just give it a better flow as far as the motion goes. You have the lever arm here, you have this that hinges, and then the rotating handles would just give it that added bonus. Now, speaking of bonus, I do like that they included the extra lock on the bottom of the handlebar to extend the lever arm, and then I'm able to do some RDLs at the front. Of course, that's not going to replace a barbell RDL, but I see this as a good option for people that don't have a lot of space, and then they can use that additional exercise there to get more out of this machine.